Good morning, Virgo. I'm Anna from Virgo, and welcome to your daily reading. Okay, Virgo. I have to be honest with you right from the start because I think honesty is the only way to honor what just came through when I sat down with this collective's energy. I have been doing this for a long time. Long enough to know the difference between a reading that is significant and a reading that is genuinely, completely stop everything unprecedented. This is the second kind. Not every message today will apply to every person watching. Please take what resonates, what speaks to your soul and your specific situation, and release the rest with love. But for those of you this is meant for, and Spirit is telling me you will know immediately, you will feel it the moment it lands, please stay with me. Because what came through today is something I genuinely have not encountered before. And it involves you. And it involves someone who made the specific and consequential mistake of underestimating exactly who you are. Please, what do we need to know today? What is Spirit sharing with this collective? Oh, oh my goodness. Okay, I need a moment because what just came through is it is extraordinary. And I do not use that word casually. Someone looked at you, someone took in everything available about who you are, your history, your circumstances, the specific chapter of your life that was visible to them, and they made a calculation. A confident, entirely certain, I know exactly what I am dealing with calculation about what you were capable of, about what you would do, about how far you would go, about what you would and would not be able to achieve, endure, become. And they got it wrong. Not slightly wrong. Not in the small, correctable, we were both working with incomplete information way. Catastrophically wrong. In the specific, humbling, I did not see that coming way that only happens when someone has been looking at the surface of a person and mistaking it for the full picture. Soft sigh. And Spirit is saying, today they are realizing it. Right now, in this specific season of your life, the realization is arriving for them with a quality that I can only describe as reckoning. Not the gentle, gradual, I am slowly updating my understanding kind. The sudden, complete, the ground just shifted under me kind. The specific quality of someone who built their entire understanding of a situation on a foundation that has just revealed itself to be fundamentally, irreversibly wrong. They underestimated you. And the cost of that underestimation, what it is costing them in real and tangible and increasingly undeniable ways, is becoming impossible to ignore. Let's see what else is coming in. Please, what does Spirit need this collective to understand about this person and what they are experiencing? Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely, yes. Because this is the piece that has never come through quite like this before. The specific quality of someone being forced by the sheer weight of evidence that has accumulated against their original assessment to revise everything they thought they knew. And here is what I want you to understand about the revision they are undergoing right now. It is not comfortable, not even slightly, because revising a significant underestimation requires acknowledging that the confidence you placed in your original assessment was misplaced. That the certainty you felt, the I know exactly what this person is about certainty, was operating from incomplete and ultimately inaccurate information. And for someone who positioned themselves as knowing, as having correctly read the situation, correctly assessed the person, correctly predicted the outcome, that acknowledgement arrives not as a gentle correction, but as a full dismantling. Everything they thought they knew about you is being dismantled right now, piece by piece, in the specific and humbling way of someone watching a prediction they made with confidence fail to materialize in the precise and spectacular manner their prediction promised. Because you did not do what they expected you to do. You did not stay where they expected you to stay. You did not remain the size they assigned you. You did not respond to the circumstances they put in your path or the limitations they assumed were yours in the way their assessment said you would. You exceeded it, quietly, without announcement, without the dramatic performance of proving them wrong that would have been so easy and so understandable, simply exceeded it by being who you actually are rather than the smaller version of yourself their underestimation required. Let's see what else Spirit is sharing. Please, what else do we need to hear? Oh, wow. Oh, this is so significant for this collective because what is coming through now speaks to something I feel so deeply for the people watching today. The specific, quiet, rarely acknowledged experience of being underestimated and choosing consciously or unconsciously not to perform the correction of that underestimation for an audience, of simply doing the work, simply becoming what you were becoming, simply living into a larger version of yourself, not to prove anyone wrong, but because it was the only honest direction available. That choice, the choice to grow in the direction of your own truth rather than in the direction of someone else's opinion of you, is what produced this unprecedented reading today. Because here is what Spirit wants you to understand. The underestimation did not slow you down, and that the specific fact that their low assessment of your ceiling had no actual effect on the ceiling itself is what makes this reading unlike anything I have encountered before. Soft sigh. Most people, when underestimated, are affected by it in some way, to some degree. The seed of doubt that someone else's low opinion plants, even when we consciously reject it, even when we know on the surface that they are wrong, tends to find some small corner of the interior and take root there quietly, slowing something slightly, dimming something marginally, introducing a quality of second guessing into the forward momentum that was not there before. You are not most people. And what Spirit is showing me today with a clarity that genuinely surprised me when it came through is that their underestimation found no purchase in you, found no corner where the doubt could root, found no gap between who you knew yourself to be and who you were allowing yourself to become, through which their low opinion could enter and do its quiet damage. That is extraordinary. That is the unprecedented thing. And it is the specific quality that is producing in them, the specific quality of reckoning that has never come through quite this way before. Let's see what else is coming in for this reading. Please, what else does Spirit need the collective to hear? Oh, I love this. I love this so much because what is coming through now is about the ripple effect, about what the reckoning of this person, the person who underestimated you, is producing beyond themselves. Because reckonings of this kind do not stay contained to the person experiencing them, they radiate, they change the temperature of the whole situation. They shift the perception of everyone connected to it, everyone who was watching, everyone who had access to their assessment of you, everyone who may have taken their underestimation on some level as information rather than recognizing it as the error it was. People are seeing you differently right now, in the wake of whatever has happened. Whatever the evidence is that has forced the revision of the original underestimation, people who may have been coloring their perception of you with someone else's low opinion are suddenly looking again with their own eyes, without the filter. And what they are seeing, what the unfiltered, no longer contaminated by someone else's assessment view of you, is producing in them is something considerably more accurate and considerably more significant than what the filtered version allowed. Recognition. The specific, belated, better late than never recognition of someone whose value was always exactly what it was, who did not become more valuable when the underestimation was corrected, but who is now being seen at the value they always held. And that recognition coming from multiple directions through multiple channels in the specific and sometimes overwhelming way of something that was dammed for a while and is now flowing freely may produce experiences in your life in the coming period that feel disproportionate to what immediately preceded them, that feel almost too much, too fast after a period where recognition was scarce. Let them feel that way. It is simply the correction restoring balance, the dammed water finding its natural level after the obstruction has been removed. Let's see what else Spirit is bringing through. Please, what else do we need to know today? Oh, yes. Oh, wow. Because this is the layer I have been feeling press forward since the beginning of this reading. And I want to speak about it directly because it is the most personally significant piece for the people this reading is most specifically meant for. The person who underestimated you in the privacy of their own reckoning, in the specific and humbling space of someone revising everything they thought they knew, wants to say something to you. And Spirit is bringing their voice through today because it needs to reach you. Not as a justification, not as a request for absolution, simply as the honest expression of someone who has arrived through the force of evidence they could not ignore at a truth they should have seen much sooner. Soft sigh. I was wrong about you. And I need you to understand the full weight of what I mean when I say that, because I do not mean it in the small, easy, I made a minor miscalculation way. I mean it in the complete, humbling, I built my entire understanding of this situation on a foundation that was wrong way. I looked at you and I saw what I expected to see rather than what was actually there. I assigned you a ceiling based on what was convenient for me to believe rather than what was accurate. And I was so certain, so genuinely, completely certain that I did not leave any room in my certainty for the possibility of being wrong. I left no room, and then you filled it anyway, without asking my permission, without needing my revised assessment to give you access to what you were always already capable of. You simply were who you were. And who you were was so far beyond what I had decided you were capable of being that the gap between my assessment and the reality of you is something I am still sitting with, still reckoning with, still trying to understand how I could have looked at something this extraordinary and seen something so much smaller. I am sorry. Not because the apology changes anything, you did not need my correct assessment to become who you are, but because you deserved to be seen accurately from the beginning, and I did not see you accurately. And that failure, the failure to see you as you actually are, is mine entirely. It was never about your size. It was always about the smallness of my perception. Ooh, oh, guys, do you feel that? Because that is real. That is the unprecedented energy of this reading, the thing that has never come through quite this way before. The full, honest, nothing protected reckoning of someone who underestimated something extraordinary and is now living in the full awareness of what that underestimation missed. Let's see what final message Spirit has for this collective. Please, what does this reading need to close with today? Oh, yes. Oh, this is so right, so perfectly right for where we have been today, because what is coming through as the close of this reading is not about them. It never was about them. And Spirit wants to make sure that this reading does not end with the focus on the person who underestimated you when the most important figure in this whole story, the only figure who actually matters, is you. You did not rise to prove them wrong. That is the specific and extraordinary thing. You rose because rising was the only honest direction available to you. Because who you were becoming had nothing to do with their assessment of your ceiling, was not guided by it, was not limited by it, was not even particularly aware of it as a relevant variable in the equation of your own growth. You simply became, in the quiet, unglamorous, nobody handing you a certificate way, that the most significant becoming always happens. Day by day, choice by choice, in the ordinary moments that do not look like transformation from the inside, but that accumulate over time into exactly that. And you did it without requiring anyone's correct assessment of your potential as fuel, without needing to be believed in before you could believe in yourself, without the external validation that most people understandably, humanly need before they are willing to reach for something larger than what they have been assigned. Soft sigh. That is the unprecedented thing. That is what this reading has never seen before. Not the underestimation. Underestimation is common. Not the correction. Corrections happen. The specific quality of a person who was underestimated and grew anyway, who required no permission, no correction, no revised assessment from the person whose assessment was wrong to become exactly what they were always going to become. That is you. That has always been you. And the reckoning that is happening right now in the person who missed it, in the people around them who are seeing you clearly for the first time, in the wider field of your life that is adjusting to a more accurate picture of your value, that reckoning is simply the world catching up to a truth about you that you have been living all along. Walk in that truth today, not with arrogance, with the quiet, grounded, completely unspectacular confidence of someone who knows what they are made of because they have tested it, who knows their own ceiling because they have refused to accept anyone else's version of it, who knows with the bone deep, earned, completely non negotiable knowing of someone who has been through the thing and come out the other side exactly who they are. You are more than they thought. You always were. And the world is catching up. This is your reading for today, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for trusting this space with the full, real, extraordinary reality of who you are. If something here landed with the weight of recognition, if something here named what you have been living through without quite having the language for please like, comment, and subscribe to stay close, because the story of who you are becoming and the world finally catching up to it is one worth witnessing all the way through. Blessings of clarity, of confidence, and of the specific and unshakable knowing that you were never the size anyone assigned you, to every single one of you watching today. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Take Virgo. Bye.